7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Alright guys, welcome to today's vlog. Today what I want to do is do a complete overview of my scissor collection, not going into detail about what type of metal it is. We all know that Mizutani scissors are handmade in Japan. They are the best quality scissor you're going to find on the market. It's the reason that I use them. It's the reason that I sell them. I love this scissor. So I want to go through my entire collection. I obviously do not use every single one of these in every haircut, but they all have a different purpose. So if you think about this as like a golf bag, you have a different club for each type of situation. This is also the same thing with scissors. So, you know, you don't have to have this many scissors, obviously, but it makes it more comfortable as you're working through a haircut if you have the right tool. So that's why having multiple scissors works really well. So I want to start off, the very first scissor I want to talk about is the Mizutani Ichinino-san number 1. The reason it's called number 1 is because it comes in a series of 4 different scissors, but you can also buy them individually. I only have the Ichinino-san number 1. I really like this scissor. It's a 5.5 inch scissor. It's great for precision cutting. It's got a really soft feel to the cut. So if you like that kind of melting feel when you cut hair, this is a great scissor for that. I also love how sharp the point is on the scissor. That helps a lot with detail work around the edges. So majority of the time, I like this scissor for the comfort. I like it for the feel and the cut. It stays in my secondhand case. It's not the one that I use on every single haircut because there are others that are my favorites, but I definitely love using this scissor for sure. It also comes in a little bit lower price point, which is around $450, I believe. Don't quote me on that price. Go check out freesaloneducation.com to get the real price, but I believe it's around $450. So it's a lower price point from the other scissors that I use daily. These are the Blacksmith Fit scissor. Now, Blacksmith Fit is this is the very first Mizutani scissor I ever got. It's a 6.5 inch scissor. It's definitely a lot longer. Mizutani sent it to me. Barbering is a big craze. A lot of people are doing a lot of scissor over comb. I like a 6.5 inch scissor for that. It's got a really strong blade on it. Now, the thing I like about when I talk about a longer scissor gets about a little bit weaker blade. So if I'm working precision, I like using a 5.5 inch scissor because the blade is a little shorter, so it's stronger when you go through the haircut. So you get better lines when you're cutting. When your blade gets a little bit longer, it gets a little bit weaker. The great thing about the Blacksmith Fit and why having a handmade scissor is so important is because look how fat the blade is all the way to the tip. So the tip is sharp, but then it gets fatter real quick. And the reason that's great is because it just gives the scissor a lot more power. So now this is the Blacksmith Fit. This is the Blacksmith Fit also just customized. So you can add customizations to your scissors. All you have to do is email me orders@freesaloneducation.com. Before you order, let me know what you're ordering and how you want to customize it. It's about a $50 upgrade to change it around, but you can make it your own and it's pretty cool. So this is the same exact scissor, just done differently. We did the matte gold with the black screw. Other cool thing about Blacksmith Fit is offset handle is really comfortable. It also comes with this really cool oil that you can insert right into this little hole right here and oil your scissor up. So just really high quality tool. This one, we talk about if you love even handled scissors. This is the Mizutani Blacksmith Retro Scissor, or just call it the Retro Scissor. I love this thing, 5.5 inches. Now, in beauty school, I loved having an even handle scissor. The things I use it for now are different techniques like no thumbs. So if I wanted to work a technique like that through, the stroking technique, this is a pretty easy scissor to use. So for this scissor, I pretty much use it for more kind of trick techniques at this point. Some people really love even handle scissors, so this is a perfect scissor for you if you like that. But for me, I like the offset handle. It's a little more comfortable. All right, guys, now we're gonna go over my favorite scissor so far that Mizutani has made. It is the Mizutani DB20 scissor. This is a 5.7 inch scissor. This is my workhorse. It's in my #1 case all the time. It's my go-to scissor 5.7-inch blade, nice offset handle, feels really comfortable in the hand, and it's nano powder metal steel. A lot of you guys will be thinking when you get a new scissor, you want to feel the difference. You want to know what you paid extra money for. When you use nano powder metal steel, Mizutani is the only company that makes this. It's the only way that you're going to actually truly feel a difference in a scissor that you buy. It grips the hair, it cuts the most perfect lines. It's an unbelievable feeling of control when you use this scissor. The other great thing is you can see all of the detail work that goes into a handmade scissor. That you're not getting a handmade scissor from anybody else. These are true artists that are creating these scissors by hand. So I want to point out a few key things about the DB20. Nice sharp point, which is something that I really love, working on the details. Again, it's 5.7 inch. You can see a little bit of thickness in the blade, allows for some power. Nice offset handle, very comfortable. I even love that the tang is attached. A lot of those scissors with the screw-on tang, it just falls off all the time. This sits super comfortable in your hand. Again, they're handmade, so they're made to fit in your hand really well. So you're definitely gonna notice the comfort in this scissor. The other thing that I wanna show you guys is this right here, which is the ball bearing screw. Now, ball bearing screw is great because it allows for the smoothest open and close that you're gonna get in any scissor. A lot of scissors are made with a regular screw. It's fine, there's nothing wrong with it. It's been done for years, but Mizutani takes it to a whole nother level with this scissor. That's why it's the Cadillac of all scissors. Using the ball bearings to open and close, you just get a really consistent, smooth glide as opposed to a screw, which is gonna be sometimes a little tighter, sometimes a little looser. This is gonna help hold in the tension in the scissor. So definitely my go-to scissor. Now I wanna go to my other favorite scissor, and I'm gonna tell you guys the difference of why I use the Type Z2 sometimes and I use the DB20 most of the other times. Now the Type Z2, this is a 6-inch scissor. Talked about how when the blade gets a little bit longer, it starts to lose a little bit of power. This is the Z2. You can see the blade starts off skinny and then gets fatter towards the tip and then gets sharp at the point. This is an unbelievable design on this scissor. Look at down the shaft of the scissor, you can see how it builds up a weight line. It gets thicker in the middle. It also gets thicker towards the end this way. So it's hitting it both ways. It's thicker down the blade and it's thicker at the tip of the blade. This scissor is so powerful for thick, coarse hair when you're working with point cutting and you want to go in there and you don't want to have that hair bend or anything like that. This is an awesome scissor for that. It's also nano powder metal steel, so not only do you get the power, you get the grip on the hair as well. So anytime I go in, I know I'm cutting exactly what I want to cut every time. So DB20, Type Z2, my two all-time favorite scissors that Mizutani makes. Now, I want to move into specialty scissors. This is the Mizutani Puffin. I talk about this one a lot. This is our dry cutting scissor. It's a 5.5 inch as well. Again, the longer the blade, the weaker it gets. Now with the Puffin, you don't really have to worry about that too much. It does have a nice slide to it, but you can see how fat this blade is. That's what it's all about. Power, working through dry hair. Dry hair is a whole different monster. You would not want to use necessarily the same scissor. A lot of people are like, well, can I use a DB20 for dry cutting? Yes, you can. There's nothing wrong with using any scissor you have for dry cutting. It's not going to be much of a difference. The biggest difference is the wear and tear on your blade and all of that. So this is created to cut dry hair. It's created to have extra power. The blade is created to glide through the hair as opposed to pulling the hair. So having this in your arsenal of tools is definitely a good thing. So this is my 5.5 inch Mizutani Puffin. Love that scissor. And this is the Mizutani Blacksmith Beak Scissor. Now, this is kind of a funny looking scissor, but it's made for certain circumstances. Now, this is one that if you're scissor obsessed like I am, then definitely pick it up because it's a cool scissor. If you're looking for your all-time go-to scissor, this is definitely not the one that you're gonna wanna pick. This has got a really, really skinny blade. It's for working those fine sections. It's for fine hair, maybe medium hair, taking really small sections, cutting a very, very precision cut. That's what it's for, detail work. Think about when you're trying to work details into a haircut, it's a lot harder with this big fat blade from the Z2. You can do it, but because the blade is so thick in your hand, it's also thick in the tip, it's a little bit harder to work those details, get nice and tight into the hair. So that's what this one's great for. So definitely Mizutani Beck, great scissor. Love having it in my collection. It would not be the only scissor I put in my collection. We talked about the dry cutting scissor, specialty scissors. This is brand new. And this is something that I haven't even done a review yet on, but I want to put it in this video because I want to have the whole collection in here. This is the Mizutani Baby Leaf Scissor. This is something that I've been posting on social media. It's got a lot of attention because of how tiny it is, but I want you guys to really go onto my Instagram, watch the video that I created. I'm going to create some more on the YouTube as well. But this tiny blade is for a singular purpose. It's for dry cutting, texturizing techniques. So we do the stroking technique, which all you need is the tip of the blade. That's all you're using. And some slide cutting techniques where all you need is to pinch the hair into the bottom of the blade. So it's got this really cool case. You can lock it in, you can wear it, take it out and use it just for those little techniques, that little detail work. Maybe if you want to travel with it and do some haircuts on the road. It's such a cool scissor to add to your collection, the Mizutani Baby Leaf Scissor. Now, I want to go into texturizing scissors, which a lot of you guys have a lot of questions about. There's certain things I love about a texturizing scissor, but I'm going to show you guys the one that I use all the time. I actually don't really use the other ones that often, but this is the Mizutani Type Z dual texture scissor. It has teeth on both sides. The great thing about that, if you look at a regular texture scissor, there's a blade on one side and teeth on the other. So in between each one of those teeth is a blade, so when you go to slide out of the hair after you cut, there's tension. You're sliding that blade along the hair, so you're cutting either more hair than you wanted to, or it might tug on the hair. Mizutani scissors don't really have that issue. They glide through pretty easy, but this never has the issue because it cuts and then it's completely free in between the teeth, so you don't have to worry about when you drag it out of the hair, any hair getting pulled in there. So this is the Type Z dual texture scissor. Also, I believe nano powder metal, yes. Nano powder metal as well, so you get that good grip on the hair. Then we go into our Acro, you have our Acro Leaf Wide series, which is a dry cutting series of texture scissors. So you have the Acro Leaf M15. This is the Acro Leaf Wide M15. It cuts 15% of the hair. Then you have the Acro Leaf M25, so you get 25% of the hair. And then you have the Acro Leaf M50, which is gonna cut 50% of the hair, adding a lot of texture, taking out a lot of bulk. I do love using this one on men's cuts on the top of their head to help add that texture in, or on top of a choppy bob that I'm trying to create. But for the most part, I like using point cutting to put in my texture, but those are pretty cool tools to have as well. Then we have the Acro Uragi scissor. This is the 0 and the 10. So there's also a 6 that I have somewhere that's not here right now. So these were the first texture scissors I ever got from Mizutani. I love them, they work so well, but I tend to stick with the Type Z Dual and the Acro Leaf Wide series on the texture scissors. Last but not least, I forgot to talk about this guy. This is the Mizutani Solid. It's one of the newer scissors that came out. Key things about this scissor if you're gonna buy it. It does have the ball bearing screw, which is really nice. I liked it. This is a 7-inch scissor, so this is all I use for scissor over comb. It has tinier finger holes. So if you guys like bigger, wider, if you have wider hands and you like to put your fingers all the way in the hole, then this might not be the scissor for you. Maybe we can customize the holes. I'm actually not sure on that. If you want it, email me and I will find out for you. But just really, really solid scissor. This is the titanium version. Again, slight upgrade. You can get it in standard finish, also gold finish. You can get any of these scissors customized if you want to. Nice, thick, wide blade. Very similar to the Blacksmith Fit with a ball bearing screw in it. So great for scissor over comb. That is my Mizutani scissor collection. The other thing I want to throw in there is Mizutani came out with this cosine razor. I love this thing. It's got a magnetic hold to the blade, so it takes standard feather blades. It glides in, and it has just, because it's handmade, it feels really good in your hand. It's got a nice weight to it. So this is a really cool tool to add to your collection as well. If you're looking for a new feather razor, we have those available on freesaloneducation.com as well. That is my Mizutani scissor collection. I hope you guys like the breakdown that I gave you. I hope I gave you the specifics on everything that I do with each of these scissors. Post in the comments below if there's any questions you have about these scissors. Also, go on our website, type in Matt Beck Vlog in the promo code area, and you'll get 20% off any purchase of these scissors that you want. So that's a huge savings, over $100 off each one of these if you guys are looking to buy a new scissor. So thank you guys for the support. Definitely go check them out, freesaloneducation.com. And any questions, post them in the comments below. Thank you for the support. I'll see you on the next video. Thanks.